My name's Jordan Green from Studio Green, and the bench is Submarine Cables, which is located on the floating gardens at the Royal Dock. The concept was born out of some historical analysis of the area. I'm not from London, but have worked in London before and used to live up in London. And I think that the area of the Royal Docks is really interesting. There's a lot of development going on around the area, and some of the maritime heritage and maritime character is being lost to new housing, which of course we need. The historical analysis wanted to focus on trying to retain some of that memory, and so looked specifically at the area of Silvertown, named after a rich London merchant by the name of Stephen Silver, who brought his factories to that area back in the late 1800s, and they were known for producing clothing and eventually submarine cables. And so this company for over 60 years produced these submarine cables, and they were known for not only the manufacture and production of these cables, but also laying them. And they laid them in a number of different places, across the Channel, over in Central America, around Havana, South America, around Cuba, and all along the kind of Western African coast. And so I think there's this really interesting heritage of this small corner of London that is known for creating this product, which is instrumental in connecting people and places. And so the bench itself, on one hand, plays on the nautical character of the area. And so it has this wave-like form that is created by these linear sections of rolled stainless steel tubes. And on the other hand, also plays into this kind of historical analysis and this idea of submarine cables and these cables that connect people and places. And so these linear sections of steel are then connected by this rope that is looped along the kind of wave-like form of the steel. The main shape of the bench is this playful wave-like form, which is used to evoke the water, the nautical theme and character of the site. And then the historic submarine cables are referenced by the rope material, and that is woven and looped around the rising and falling linear sections of the stainless steel frame. It's been a really interesting process. Something that I have spent a lot of time on is working with a local rigger. So I'm based in Bristol. Bristol has a really great maritime heritage, much like the Royal Docks, and so I have access to some good people with some real interesting knowledge around rope and rigging and splicing and all of these kind of new techniques that I'm learning about. And so over the process of the design and the fabrication, I've spent time working with a guy called Jay from Traditional Rigging, who is excellent. He's so knowledgeable, and he has really helped to refine the rope connections, the fixing. He's taught me splicing techniques. We have worked together using mock-ups to work through some of the challenges of fixing and securing and tensioning the rope. So all of that has been super helpful in the design and fabrication of the bench, those kind of mock-ups, and using his specialist knowledge to inform the final piece. The design of the bench, I'm hoping, will encourage people to be drawn to it just by its kind of organic aesthetic and the wave-like form. I think that the rope and the material then that is used is kind of another layer of detail that people can appreciate once they get closer to it and might want to kind of touch, as it has that kind of tactile character. The rising and falling linear stainless steel tube sections offer an opportunity to kind of sit at the lower trough section of that wave, and then on the other hand, just kind of lean or perch against the bench at the kind of peak section of the wave. So I'm hoping that there's kind of a number of different ways that the bench could be used. And it would be great, it'd be great to see people, how they use it in place. And I think that it does tie into the practices ethos, this idea of being resourceful, of playful, but also material conscious. And all of that being wrapped up into design that is for everyday activities, looking at the use of recyclable and industrial materials. So the steel frame of the bench has been fabricated by a company called Benchmark Design. I used to work with one of the partners at a previous practice in a shared working space. And so when the Pews and Perches competition came up, and once I'd kind of had some ideas about the design, reached out to Ed at Benchmark, and we had a number of workshop and kind of design sessions where we worked through some of the design of the frame and the concept. And so Benchmark have been really, really great, and their knowledge has been really useful. They really helped with the selection of the material. So we're using marine grade stainless steel and using that for a number of reasons. Stainless steel is 100% recyclable. It's a super robust material with a kind of almost indefinite lifespan. There's minimal maintenance or degradation. And I think that it's also a good material for a marine environment. And so, yeah, Benchmark were instrumental in helping to select the material and informing, like I say, the design of the frame to work with the rope and the fastening of the rope.